Hi, everyone.
Good morning.
So today I would like to talk about what is spiritual and discipline. What's the point of it? And basically, discipline is about getting from one place to another. So when we talk about a path, it implies that we travel that path. And when you come to a teacher, or for that matter, if you don't want to have a teacher, but you do want to have some kind of spiritual change in your life, we start talking about doing something about it, and that would be what the discipline is about. If you don't want to do anything about it, you just want to kind of walk around nonchalantly in life, that's also possible. But then, why are you watching this video? So what do you think?
Well, a good way to think about discipline in any path, it's never linear. So there is a end goal, but when we're traversing that path, we tend to go back and forth, and on our way up to it, it's never a straight linear. And discipline is what helps to keep less deviation from the path, if we want to look at it. So it keeps you more within going towards that goal versus getting way deviated and distracted over here. And, and then a lot of people are just doing circles. They're not really going that way. They're just kind of revolving around some area. But that discipline is that, first of all, the direction, and then also it helps to narrow when we're drifting from the path. It keeps it more concentrated, because again, no journey is going to be this linear journey, which is what a lot of people tend to have as a mental illusion of, I'm going to go from point A to point B, and it's going to be this straight linear progression. I mean, if it happens that way, great, but
it never happens that way.
And so,
well, one of the way to look at spiritual path is that it's kind of more, I don't know if I want to say sophisticated. It's a superset of being a business person, a businessman or businesswoman, where you're trying to start a company, or you're trying to start some kind of enterprise. It's that process is never linear, because you have to, well, unless you want to open, I don't know, a laundromat shop or something like that. But like, if you want to do something innovative, something new, the path will never be linear. You will have to discover certain things as you go along. And spiritual path is far more individual than any other path you can have. In fact, spiritual path is the only path that you cannot fake, because it's all completely real. There's no really shortcuts. The shortcut on the spiritual path is recognizing that there's no shortcuts and trying to, go through. So we are not even talking about this being, your personal path. Of course it is your personal path, and of course it's going to have zigzags, and sometimes you're going to go faster, sometimes slower, sometimes you're going to be disappointed, sometimes you're going to be even more disappointed. Also keep in mind that spiritual path is a path of realizing that your ego, your personality, what you cherish about yourself is false. It's not really you. So your ego will be very disappointed. It's going to be pissed off big time. Well, not to use an Americanism, because pissed off in UK means drunk. It basically make your ego quite uncomfortable. In fact, the uncomfort of your ego is a very good indication that you are on a path. Another thing, well, just like in anything in life, sometimes you want to take things easy, sometimes you want to make things more intense. But the most important thing is that if you want to work with other people, with a teacher, and definitely with yourself, you cannot avoid discipline. And the discipline basically means not being wishy-washy and actually doing something about it rather than talking about it. And that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. And I want you to comment if you have anything to comment.
Well, then it's also that key aspect where you keep moving forward. It's easy to stop, and that discipline, just like physical exercise. Again, if you're going towards a goal, if you're training towards something. So, to use a basic example, say that you want to be able to deadlift 500 pounds. So that means picking 500 pounds of weight off the ground. You have to do a certain type of training, and you have to adjust accordingly as you go. But it's that discipline that gets you into the gym every day. And it's also, going back to having a trainer, or on the path, a teacher. It's very important to have that.
Well, it prevents you from bullshitting yourself. That's basically what it is.
Correct.
You can do all kind of training by yourself, but the issue is that someone more experienced than you, well, they'll tell you if you're bullshitting yourself.
Right. And that's there are certain milestones that can be achieved throughout the path, even though you're not really achieving anything, but you are.
Well, you are achieving. Actually, this is an interesting topic to discuss a little further. In tantric practices, there is a very definitive beginning and end. And the easiest way to understand for a common person, it's like, if you want to go to a college, there is an admission requirement and there is a graduation requirement. So, I mean, if you want to take a course, I don't know, Calculus 3, you need to have Calculus 2 before it. And then to graduate from Calculus 3, you need to get something bigger than an F or a D. In other words, you need to pass the course. And yeah, it's a tricky metaphor, but yes, there are certain completion. I think like in Tibetan Tantra, they talk about completion state. In other words, say, for example, I don't know, you're trying to do meditation to become better tuned to, like my whole book is about tuning to mystery. It's a very big deal there. What is that? Do you want to achieve a greater state of intuition? Do you want to achieve greater state of ease? What is that? Do you want to feel more love? So there is some kind of requirement that signifies that you have completed your task. So for example, if you're lifting weights, I guess if you can lift 100 pounds, that is achievable within, I don't know, whatever, 2 years. You would probably know more about it.
You can do 100 pounds pretty quickly.
Yeah, well,
500 pounds is...
Well, 500 pounds, that will kill you. Especially if you drop it on your chest in the wrong way.
Well, luckily with a deadlift, you'd have to really pull it up and go backwards. So.
Yeah.
But people have done that where they pass out.
Yeah. Well, let's not be too morbid,
Well, I'm just saying what happens.
It was my suggestion, so I guess, yeah.
I'm just giving you the technical of what happens.
Exactly. Yeah.